Hello, I am back from my wound care appointment, and I thought I would go ahead and try to film a video on the deaths that just keep coming at Fort Hood. Like, what is going on with this place? It's just crazy. I pulled out a couple of different decks to use, one of which, of course, is my favorite Marigold Tarot. And the other is a newer one that I picked up, and this is just major Arcana only. And it's kind of for the Halloween season, and somehow it feels like it might be appropriate. So it comes in a box that has a nice magnetic lid. The artwork is really good. Beautiful little book pamphlet that comes with it. So this sort of thing, it's quite nice, just so you can see for the Hierophant. Cthulhu. I can't say it. So that's the booklet that comes with the Terror Tarot. It again is only major arcana, does not have the minor arcana. But I thought that I would go ahead and try using this. So I'm just going to shuffle. Yes, you can see that it really makes a difference in the size of the deck when you don't have all those, the major arcana and the pip cards that come with it. So this is major arcana only, and again, this is the Terror Tarot. And who made this? Well, I'm not sure. I'd love to be able to throw a name out there, but it's really not written it's not on the outside of the book. Interesting. Okay. Who made this? Who can we attribute this to? Well, it's from Goulish Garb, and they do have an Etsy site. So if you go on Etsy, they do other wall art and apparel. So the Goulish Garb is the maker of this, content maker. And this can be found on Etsy. Okay? If you're interested. Especially since we are in the season of Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. And All Souls. So let's just take a look. I want to look at what is going on at Killeen in Texas with the Fort Hood. So many deaths. I understand that it has people living there that are, it's not all limited to military, that it's, from what I understand. And so you do, but there's just been so many soldiers that, why? I mean, we don't hear this about other places going on. I know that it has a little bit of a unique setup with its access to civilians living there and so on and so forth. But it's been bothering me, and I've been wanting to look at it. Now, all of these deaths, I don't think, are linked or anything like that, but I just want to know why. Why is this particular area is a hot spot? Why? So I'm asking the ancestors, and I'm asking the Creator to help me to relate the answer. Why is this place having so many deaths of soldiers. It's 28 deaths in a year already. So I want to know why that's happening there, and what can and I understand and relate as accurately as possible why. And I ask the Creator and the ancestors to help me to understand. The Empress. Okay. The Star. Judgment. And Lovers. Those are the first four. I feel like it's decisions. It really is about choices here and involvements that people get themselves into. With the Judgment and the Lovers, is really is talking about personal choices that people make, to do something criminal or not. Do they, there's an issue with temptation. There's an issue with, at this place, there's an issue with people using, obviously, bad judgment. And they're just becoming more in the spotlight. Now, how does the Empress fit into this? Mothers, I think, are going to maybe bring, and wives, perhaps, more into the spotlight. Women. But I particularly think mothers of these soldiers and service people. Because there is a judgment about responsibility and past actions, and how, those past actions with the Judgment card, they lead to, results. There's consequences, good and bad. So it depends on your choice. And that's largely what I'm being shown here. The Lovers, again, deals with choice and making good choices. And this is not to blame any of the victims at all, but rather those that are causing other people's deaths. I don't think it is just one thing, or but let's, that's only one row. If you know me by now, if you've watched, or unless you're new to me, my channel, you'll know that I have to have more than one row. Justice, look at that. Mothers. I really strongly feel that we're going to start to see and hear more outcry from women that are related to, and the relatives of, perhaps, women as well that have been victimized, because men and women have been victimized at Fort Hood. But I strongly feel like I'm getting a real pull at mothers and wanting justice. And I know that the um, latest are two Navajo servicemen, and the families apparently from I didn't go into reading in depth. I just kind of scanned because I had an appointment and everything today. But from what I understand, the both sets of parents didn't feel like they were being given consistent information, and so that's extra shady. It's like, what's going on there? So I will look. Now, this question is just a broader question of like, what the hell's going on at Fort Hood? I want to look at the cases of the two Navajo men most recently. Chi and, oh shoot. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names, remembering things like that. And I only just read about it. Anyhow, one of them, his last name is Chi, and he was the most recent. He apparently was said to have died during a training exercise. That's all I know. I haven't really looked at more about what he was doing in the training exercise or what was going on, but yeah, mothers are going to be bringing, I know this might sound lackluster to people's like of sensationalism, but and drama, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to read what the cards and the ancestors that and creator want me to understand and share, so that's what I do. And these are the symbols I'm given to interpret. I feel like there's definitely, look at that last line. Look at that last line. Let me just put this on pause and readjust the camera a little better. I don't know if that's much of an improvement, but just so you can kind of see the full board. And if we look straight down this row, we have Justice, we have the Fool, the Magician, and the High Priestess. So I'm seeing that things are out of hand on that in Fort Hood. It does show that, and it does show that I think they're going to be subjected to more scrutiny through the judicial system with things that are going on there, because it's like, is this just what is causing all these apparent strange deaths, especially with the Fool? It's like, really, all these, is this unique collection of deaths? I mean, what? It's just too strange, and it seems a bit fishy, and that's because I think it is. We have the High Priestess saying there's stuff that the public and that is in general not known about, and there's some covering up going on, some big time covering up going on, and manipulation through the use of media and trying to squelch. There's activities going on there that they don't want getting out. That's true. That shows up for sure here. And I think a lot of these Des, the Fool and Justice, are being given to us as these strange incidents that we don't really feel completely somehow satisfied with their narrative of how these people are coming to their ends. What is exactly going on there? There is some sort of manipulation with the Magician, And, you know, it could be that because they've had so many that the upper echelon are trying to control, damage control, but also just in general, I think there is a manipulation somehow with regard to the deaths that happen there. That's what I'm being shown. And it's definitely needing investigation. They need somebody to an independent body source that's not going to throw them a bone to come in there and bring justice. There is something that's amiss. There's problems, I think, definitely where love relationships or sexual interactions, and that definitely shows up there. And I know they've had problems with sexual harassment. I think they have generally left certain behaviors they haven't handled in complaints. They just have not handled them well. Instead, they've tried to, I think, manipulate around dealing with it as justly, perhaps, as they should. But I think that we can look toward, especially the cases where women and getting attention connected to unwanted sexual advances, unwanted, harassment. There's also, if we look down this angle here, we see that they've got the lovers and the high priestess, and so I feel like this is some sexual misconduct that is being hidden, covered up. Judgment, magician. Just looking at these two lines, it looks like some people that are manipulating behind the scenes need to be brought to account. Whether they're just trying to hold back details, or, why are they making everything? They need to be transparent. There is a lack of transparency here, absolutely, and the responses that they're giving to families for their loved ones just isn't quite right. And I think in many cases, the details are mishandled. There's some mishandling, carelessness, or deliberate of oops. It just seems like there's something that looks a lot less innocent, a lot less sinister that they slap onto it. And like, oops, that's an accident. Is it really? But is it really? Is the Justice card. That's what it's saying. Because it's saying there's manipulation of, especially, I think, where women are concerned, sexual harassment, complaints about behavior that people are engaging in, the choices. And it's maybe, is this a permissiveness that they are just allowing? I think there is a permissiveness of certain sexual harassment that they're allowing to go on, that they're not properly addressing. And it's coming home to roost. Let's get that third line. The emperor, oh, how crazy. We have the empress, and we have justice and the emperor. So, sandwiched between the emperor and the empress is justice. I think they're saying that this place is going to go under serious investigation, and especially where I believe sexual harassment cases are being mishandled and leaving people vulnerable to people that are preying upon them on the premises of Fort Hood. In that community, they're not doing a good job of keeping people safe. And I think handling head on modern day, there's still very oppressive idea toward women, and they're still wanting to kind of hold that attitude as a norm. They're not really wanting to address the soldiers and address the community that they're in charge of, because they themselves don't want to apparently let go of that mentality. And it is a mentality. So I think we could start to see mothers, family members going and protesting, maybe even demonstrating, bringing them to court, taking the army or taking Fort Hood to court, because there's something that doesn't smell right with these deaths. The son. Yeah, they're going to be exposed through legal, I think especially they're going to be looking toward being to court, Fort Hood, the world. And I believe that what will be exposed is the overriding nature when it comes to handling criminal behavior at Fort Hood is in overdrive. And I just don't feel like it serves or connects those who end up dying as a result of criminal activity going on amongst the people that are a part of its military and some outside civilians. It will be exposed. They are going. I'm being told that they will be investigated in a big way, and especially wherein there is concern to sexual impropriety, mishandling of criminal cases. And it looks as though what they've done is it's just been poorly managed, and certain things have not, that they should have picked up on and handled more seriously. It's kind of loose and fast, and it's still has a very manipulative, chauvinistic, dated way of handling, or rather not handling, these crimes going on. And especially, I think, with regard to minorities. I don't see this. I see more of a seriousness and to try to redirect a narrative than I do to actually deal with how people are not handling the criminal aspects going on there the way that they should be. There's more effort going into covering up than to, I think, holding people firmly to rules and getting it under control. Much more of people covering stuff up, trying to hide stuff. And that is going to meet the light of day. And it will. We will know exactly, because it's almost like a spotlight has to be shined upon this place for it to clean up its act publicly. The tower, and the hermit. Yeah. I think that there's these deaths reveal how broken their way of not dealing with a host of problems going on there. Suicides, sexual harassment, I think the criminal activity, that some service people are unfortunately involved in and victim of those, who are, because they're having to work with these individuals so that, there's a real look at this, and I feel like it gets blown open. This place is going to get blown wide open with that tower. Now with that hermit, I feel like that's far more exploratory into the nooks and crannies at Fort Hood, and I'm getting a thorough investigation of is going to be on the way. Yep. Yes, to get it under control, to get things under control. And I think it will be help to have order at some point will be reestablished there. But I see some serious change, big change, because of what was hidden by, I think, people that were in office that were supposed to be taking things more seriously and holding people account to rules, especially this is about you're training them. What's going on with training. You need to make sure that you have a better idea about what people kind of going on there. If somebody's involved in something that's criminal, they need to have a better sense of what's going on, and rather than glossing over stuff, and then when there's a problem, because it's just going to keep happening is what I get. But this pass the buck kind of paltry response of deaths that are occurring there is just going to be, it's just out of hand. And I believe that they will be brought before investigation, and I think a very thorough one, to bring the situation under control there, because it is out of control and it's ineffective. There's hidden people in positions of power that are, they're supposed to handle this kind of stuff, aren't doing their job. all these deaths in this short cycle of time. And it will show at the end the devil and the hanged man. That a lot of these people died needlessly, firstly, because of people choosing, because of the allowance, I believe, firstly, and the tolerance of domineering, cruel, corrupt behavior towards women, towards men, that of minorities. And I feel there's definitely something up. And in a number of different ways, in a number of different manners, but this really a strong sexual aspect that's coming out of sexual harassment, rape, preying upon those who are not in a position to help themselves. You know, they're praying. It's just total predation going on there. That's going to be brought out in many layers from a very thorough investigation that will be coming to Fort Hood. Okay, so there's my reading on Fort Hood using all major arcana of the Tarot by Goulish Garb, which you can find on Etsy. And I thank you for your time. I'm going to now look in particularly at the deaths of the 2 Navajo servicemen. This is just a generalized question on Fort Hood itself. So the latest deaths of the Navajo servicemen will be the second part to kind of a cluster reading that I want to begin doing on Fort Hood. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. And I'll see you in the next video.